So there's the astronomical or astrological tradition, and then there's what people have done with the tradition. So you have two different theories to work off, and you have real life experience to find out for yourself what it is. Because to me, the books and teachers and other people don't tell us what it means. Our own experience and the connections and correlations we make tell us what it means. The tradition is a basis for us to do our own research, and we either validate that tradition seems to check out or it doesn't, and then we can make theories about what they were trying to say and what's changed. But the point I'm trying to make is the theories are just a starting point with which to do our own experiments and our own research. All right, because they're acceptable. How do you know when it's correct or what's not? What do you even have a sense of what it's based off of, and how much trust do you have in the fact that things haven't changed? So that's why I think we can learn from tradition, but the knowledge comes from our own experimentation. And I think that's why the key word for Aquarius is I know, but it's knowing from our own experiments, our own personal perspective, our own individuated perspective.
This feels like it would be bringing own experience into it because Bradley, like when I put my dog down back in 2018, it was June of 2018. Uh, the I'm just looking at, I just pulled up the transits right now, and the nodes are making square aspect to the ruler of my sixth.
Hmm. Okay.
So we're getting a sixth house activation from the nodes. But it also like, of course, the ruler of my sixth is in the fifth.
So same thing. Bradley has one of the rulers of the sixth and the fifth, and they're being aspected by the node. The Jupiter is being aspected by the nodes right now. And also Bradley has Neptune in the fourth, which is the other ruler of the sixth, and it's receiving a semi-sextile from Pluto.
Well, I guess it's interesting how you define pets, though, because I would think ninth house, when you mention cows, like in India, I think cows are represented very differently than they are in the United States.
Okay, stop. I don't want to start. I just don't want to get too far afield in this direction. It's what we're doing is we're not going into questioning the philosophy of where it came from. We're establishing that there is a tradition, and that the purpose of the way that I'm talking about it, the purpose of the tradition is to do our own research, right? If we go into asking questions and questioning the philosophy too much, we never have a basis which to build anything on. And so the ninth house is we have to have some larger framework with which to understand these things. And that's why the ninth house is a true believer, right? Because we have to believe in something to then start to do our experimentations off of. If we don't do the experimentations, it turns into the dark side of the true believer, the dogma. If we keep on going, it turns into the shadow of Gemini of we don't ever have a basis because we keep on questioning everything too much. So I'm saying if you're learning this system and you're spending your time and your energy to learn the system, and then start to do your experiments and research based off of the system. And then from your experiments and research, you'll have your own new perspective, and you'll actually have something to add to astrology. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But part of it is right is we have to deal with the wounds we have around believing in something. Okay, so how might we see this in a chart? How might we see a wound around a belief system?
Pluto making aspects to the ninth house or in the ninth house.
Pluto connected to the ninth house is a general way that you could. Does anyone here have Pluto connected to the ninth house?
I got Pluto in the ninth house in Scorpio.
Oh, perfect. And where's your south node?
Fourth house, Gemini.
Gemini. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think we're on to something. All right. So allow yourself, Jake, to believe in this system. And when I say believe in the system, I mean make things move in reality to fit the system. Right? If it doesn't fit, keep trying and trying and switching things around and switching things in your head until it does fit. All right. I'm hoping I triggered some people with that comment. And if I did, please speak up. Okay. What I'm saying, okay, I'm the preacher, okay, and I'm saying for this belief system, okay, right, view the world through this belief system. And if you're viewing through this belief system and what you see doesn't make sense, change what you see to make it make sense.
I'm understanding this correctly. You're saying this is a belief system. You know, you're like lecturing on that. And if it doesn't make sense, but how do we know if it doesn't make sense because we're not understanding it versus that's the truth for us?
This is exactly why I say to do it, right? If it's the belief system and you can't make it make sense, and you try, and as hard as you try, and you talk to someone and a person you respect, and it still doesn't make sense, then you know it's not true for you. But only until you put the effort in to do everything you can to make it true, and you can't make it true, can you be convinced that, okay, this isn't true? And that way you're creating your own belief system. And that's how you heal the wound. But if the wound keeps you from believing anything, you can't ever heal the wound.
So I think this is really interesting because, I mean, I grew up in the States, and the educational system there is like, you listen to the teacher, you regurgitate the information, you get a good grade if you can, you know, so you're not taught to kind of challenge authority or challenge what you're being preached at. And so I think that's so interesting. Like every week I keep hearing you saying that same thing. Like, this is what you have found, but does it resonate with us? And in some ways I'm like, wait, the teacher, the preacher is giving me back my power, and I'm sort of like, what do I do with it? You know, because yeah, so yeah, this is so interesting.
Well, that's part of the Plutonian wound that we've all the Plutonian Jupiter wound that we've all experienced, is especially in the States, is our education. But part of that wound, and I say that Pluto, I don't look at the wound as negative. I look at the wound as a necessary loss of innocence. And when we're a kid, we're not supposed to be challenging the belief system. We're supposed to take it on. But when we become adults, right, when we start to step into our Uranus, we're supposed to experiment with the belief system we were given to see what works and what doesn't work. That's just the part that we're not ever told. But that's kind of the whole point of astrology. It gives you the tools. It gives you a higher level of belief system to start to orient to. So I think one of the things that was lost with religion, you know, is this idea of we have earthly parents and then we have heavenly parents. You know? And so when religion was major, the people knew that they graduated from their earthly parents to some larger truth. But now that we don't really have religion, it's like people stay stuck, right? They stay stuck under their earthly parents. And what I mean is their early conditioning. Because, you know, when we're born, our first experience of God are our parents, the caretakers. That's a child's religious experience. And so that's where we get our first belief system. And that was the need in religion, to have heavenly parents so that we can upgrade our belief system. But, you know, because we lost religion, ain't no one doing it. So that's why I believe that in the Aquarian age, and I believe we are in the Aquarian age, is where the Christian Judeo religions, the monotheism, took over the Piscean age. I think astrology is going to be the new religion of the Aquarian age for these reasons, because it speaks to the Aquarian urge. Okay, so, and we're the front runners, right? And it's funny, if you are bored and you do research on the beginning of the cult of Christianity, you know, you'll identify yourselves where you are in the course of history in this new age.